From our Santa Cruz County newsroom with his story. Karen?
Well, Alan, the SPCA says its goal is to reunite pet and owner, but it's hard to do when there's no identification. And in this case, the cat in question was overly aggressive.
So anyway, it's just been a major crisis. It's been like the loss of a loved one.
Christopher Merrill is talking about the death of his cat, Buddy, his buddy for 11 years. Last week, the cat was euthanized by the Santa Cruz SPCA just 6 hours after she ran away and was brought in by one of Merrill's neighbors.
I felt like they could have handled her enough to put her in a cage and give her the 3 days. You know, they call themselves a shelter.
Shelter spokesperson Carla Kovernick says Buddy was unsafe for staff to handle. Shelter policy allows a cat to be held a minimum of 3 days before it's put up for adoption or euthanized, unless it's unsafe.
A frightened domestic cat will frequently shrink back towards the back of the kennel, will hiss, whereas an unsafe cat is leaping and charging, biting, or trying to bite, swatting with their paws. You know, it would be a situation where we cannot actually handle this cat.
Merrill says he bottle-fed Buddy when he found her at 2 days old and she was tame, but that she didn't like strangers.
I don't feel like they tried to keep her, and I felt like they were very hasty in their decision, just treating her as another cat, you know, when she obviously wasn't to me. And they try to lay this trip on me about my responsibility to have a collar on her.
He says Buddy couldn't wear a collar because of a swollen lymph node. The SPCA says they always look for owner identification.
The last thing we ever want to see happen is for somebody's wanted companion animal to be killed. So first of all, we're deeply sorry, and we're very sorry for Mr. Merrill's loss. Beyond that, we try to explain, you know, what the situation is, that this cat was mistaken for an unsocialized cat.
Now, the SPCA recommends that pet owners try a microchip identification for their pet. Now, that's information. It's coded on a chip about the size of a grain of rice, and it's inserted into the pet's neck by a vet. And the SPCA says they scan pets for that chip when pets are brought in, and it's just another source to try to identify your pet. Meanwhile, Merrill says he wants that SPCA to change their entire policy.
All right, we'll see how they react.